What's going on, everyone? This is Liam Catterson here, and today we are going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Wonder Woman. So, yes, spoiler-free. That means if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't worry. I'm not going to reveal any big plot points or whatnot. This is going to be completely spoiler-free unless you have avoided all marketing material. Then some things might be spoilerific, but I'm assuming you've seen the trailers, the promotional art, whatever, and you haven't seen the film yet, so this should be completely fine. So, with that said, I have to say that this movie is indeed wonderful. I really enjoyed this film, and I think it's the first DCEU movie. Of course, there's been Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, of course, and Suicide Squad. But this is the first DCEU movie that I really love. That's in my favourite films. Superhero films, that is. It could be in my favourite films, but I know that Rush is number one. I have no idea what's number two or whatever. But definitely it's definitely my favourite superhero films of all time, Wonder Woman. I know I didn't really have a problem with Batman v Superman, even though there were a lot of mistakes with Batman v Superman. And Suicide Squad I liked more over Batman v Superman. But they are not in what I consider my favourite superhero films of all time. They are more, they're enjoyable films, but they are not really, films that I can consider the best. Wonder Woman, definitely. So I advise you to check that out. But first we're going to go through the list of great points I had about the film. Of course, spoiler free, of course. And then there's like one really, I guess, con that's not really a big deal, but it is if you are really picky. It's not a big deal for me though. I was just like, oh, okay. So first off, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, the star of the show, the main event, and proving she's not just a pretty face, of course. She was just fantastic in her role as, Diana, and she's really talented. Some of the dialogue she came up with was just amazing, and there were emotional scenes. Spoiler, but I'm not going to delve into what. But there were emotional scenes that did involve Gal, and, whenever she got emotional, you got emotional too, but she just proved to be a great candidate to play Wonder Woman, and I'm glad that she did choose it. She was picked to play Diana because she just delivered. This was, the test to have Wonder Woman come out in flying colours, and it definitely passed. It was just great. Gal provided. She was just amazing, especially with the chemistry with Chris Pine, who played Steve, and yeah, he was a great character too. I thought he was going to be a bit clamped down, but thankfully he got some development in there too. Like, I thought he wasn't going to get as much development, but when he was explaining his situation to, Diana, it was done really well. So I'm glad that he got development. But the chemistry with him and Diana was just great. Like, there is one moment when they leave the island, because of course London's not on the island, is it? But there is one situation where they're heading to London where, it's humour which was balanced out well. There was great chemistry between them, and there was a lot of humour in that scene alone. But that's one standout point about how they had great chemistry. It felt really natural, and it was really good. But like I said, Steve was just an amazing asset to Wonder Woman, and I really liked it. And of course, all the Amazons and everyone, the whole cast was just amazing, and I really loved it. The dialogue was just great, but thankfully the whole cast, there was not like a weak character because of the casting. It was just really great, and I just enjoyed everyone on the film. But of course, Gal Gadot was really good, and of course the villains. Now, there are three villains. One has not been broadcasted on, the promotional material, so I'm not going to reveal who, but it should be plainly obvious. I've said it in my reaction videos, and I think they have confirmed it. But they have not shown this character at all through all the promotional material. There's, of course, Eric Lundendorf. I think it is Lundendorf. I'll correct me if I'm wrong, but it's along the lines there. Not good with German names, am I? There's of course Dr. Poison, and there's that character that has not been shown in any material, but it's kind of confirmed. So I'm just gonna not name this character at all, just in case you don't know. but this character comes at the very end. Although they do build it up early on, this character, so there's that to look forward to. But no, it should, like, this character shouldn't really come as an oh my god moment. Well, there is one oh my god moment, but I'm not going to go into that territory. But this character shouldn't really be, oh, they've included this character in, because it shouldn't be a shock, because they do go into depth about it, and it would be a con if they didn't show this character, because it's like, oh, they build up all this for nothing if they didn't show him. So, you know, it kind of does reveal itself, but it's done really nice as well, so there's that character. But this character at the very end, it was just amazing. Like, this character and Diana have a great fight, of course, being villains and whatnot, but it was a really powerful battle, and I just really loved it. And it was so brilliant. Like, I just really loved the final battle scene really, really well, and this character really just nailed it. It was all the things that I was expecting, and it was just so good. But also, Dr. Poison as well. Like, I was a bit worried that she was going to have a bit more compressed role in Wonder Woman, but thankfully it's great. Like, this movie proves that you can have multiple villains in a film, and if you write them really well, then the movie works out and you have no problems. Cough Spider-Man 3. But Wonder Woman, like, really handled its villains really well, especially Eric Ludendorff. Pretty good stuff there, and all of them was handled really well, so it's all good. Also, the camera direction of the film, brilliant stuff. Like, there were some fight scenes that, you know, the camera angle was just so juicy and so delicious, and it was really great in some of the fight scenes as well. There's 3 fight scenes that I particularly love, because of course, with it being World War One, everything's not going to be sunshine and rainbows and whatnot, is it? So there's going to be quite a bit of conflict if it's World War One setting, but there's 3 fight scenes that I have I'm not going to name drop them just in case, but there's 3 fight scenes that I really, really, really love. I can't tell you where they occur towards. One of them tiered towards the beginning. One is somewhere in the middle. I'll actually show pictures actually of what I'm talking about, because like I said, this is from the trailer, and then there's the final battle, of course, which I've already touched upon with this character, but that's the 3. So I'm showing the 2 screenshots of the first 2 fights that I really, really enjoyed, or the first 2 conflicts, should I say. But it was really a fight, but it was more of a conflict as well, but it was just so beautiful, and I just really loved it. But like I said, the camera direction was really great as well in, like, a lot of shots. Like, there was some slow motion effects that really, really felt so powerful, and I just really loved it. Music as well was a really great fundamental thing for the movie. It was really awesome to see, and of course there's one iconic theme that plays during the movie. It obviously played in the trailer, so you expect it to appear at some point in the movie, and I'm glad it did. But the music as well, the original music was just amazing, and I just really love how it's constructed. It really felt so tantalizing, I guess. But no, that's really as much as I can say, really. I mean, the dialogue was pretty good. The story was... That's another thing I've got to mention, because of course the DCEU does have that reputation of having off-pacing. And whereas I didn't really have an issue with it with Suicide Squad, you could actually feel how great it was with Wonder Woman. Like, of course, I didn't really have a problem with Suicide Squad, but I didn't feel it as effective as I did with Wonder Woman. That's how great the pacing was with Wonder Woman. The con, though, I have to say, though, because I did say there was a little off point about the movie, and it was more to do with the CGI, because there's some... Because, of course, Gal Gadot is not a metahuman, is she? Like, she can't perform all these stunts, and, like, these superhuman stunts, and, yeah. But the CG was noticeable at times when, you know, some of the fight scenes was transparent. Like, it felt noticeable, but it, like I said, unless you really, really are picky, then it shouldn't really be a problem. Overall, other than that, the fight scenes were just pretty amazing. Just read, because there's so much I don't want to disclude anything, but no, that's all I've really said. I mean, the movie was just fantastic. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10, if anything, about the movie, and I just really don't see a problem that I have with the movie at all. apart from that CGI thing, I don't have a problem. It was just really great. The story felt so quality, and everything was just great. The performances was just divine. Music was beautiful. Some of the camera work was just really, really amazing, and I just really loved this film so much. Like I said, it's in my top superhero films of all time, and it's the first for a DCEU movie, because whereas I have enjoyed DC films in the past, even though they have gotten a lot of discredibility, Wonder Woman has certainly knocked it out the park. You could feel the quality there, you could feel how great the movie was, and I just loved it so much. So I'm just hoping that Justice League, when that comes out in November next year, that it can, I don't know, somehow take some of the stuff from, of course it's already been developed right now, but hopefully they will have looked at some of the areas they went wrong with Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, and they can look at Wonder Woman as a great example right now for future DCEU films on how it was developed. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. I actually nearly forgot to say this as well. But another great thing, and I really loved about the film, was, you know, how they developed young Diana. They didn't do it too rushed. They didn't do it too prolonged. The development of young Diana to the Diana we love right now was just really, really great, and it was, you know, done so well. It was organic, and it was just awesome to see. But I think that's all that I have in terms of key points about the movie. And like I said, there was that one negative point, but that's all I really have about the film, because other than that, I just really enjoyed it. I sat there so amazed, and it was just amazing to see, so it's an awesome job. But like I said, hopefully this movie can become some kind of beacon, an inspirational thing to, you know, try and make and improve DCEU films, and hopefully this is the start, because I want the DC films to be great. I love DC, but of course with Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman, it hasn't really been given a great reputation, but Wonder Woman has, and I can see why, because it was just a phenomenal movie, and I can't wait for number 2. Patty Jenkins deserves a round of applause, by the way, for making this movie so damn epic. But I'm glad that number 2 is coming out, because whether or not that that film becomes better than this film, Patty Jenkins deserves a lot of credibility. She really did Wonder Woman so well, and I can assume that number 2 is going to be maybe not as good, but it will be along the lines, because that movie was just ace, and I just really loved it. So like I said, 9.5 out of 10 for me. Really loved it. So amazing stuff, and I just really hype for the future of DCEU, if that's an example of what's to come. But yes, that's my spoiler-free review of Wonder Woman. Check it out, people. It's really awesome, and I can't wait to see you know, everyone's reaction to it, basically, because that film was just ace. So you can check my videos on the right if you want to watch more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!